Hi, Tanya.
Hi, João. How are you?
Very well. Almost in spring.
Yeah, I can see that you are starting the day by walking. Can you tell us a little bit where you are walking now?
I'm not far from home, so I'm in Portugal, north of Lisbon, in a region that my neighbors call it the Wild West, but there are no cowboys here. Only me.
It looks lovely, and I love the color of the sky. I'm sorry I couldn't be joining you on a walk today, but we wanted to record this conversation to tell you a little bit more about what we do and to invite you to our upcoming program in April. So, João is the founder of Walking Mentorship, and I'm Tatiana, a walking mentor that has recently become accredited. And it's a very exciting time for us to co create something that's not been there before. So, my first question for you, João, is why do you think walking is such a powerful tool for self discovery and clarity? And why is it that you do so much walking?
Well, there's a few very good reasons why we do what we do, and it all starts with walking. And I guess that this is directly related with the fact that when we walk, we are so much closer to our natural rhythm. The rhythm that actually, for millions of years, we have been living our lives as humans. We all know that things have changed dramatically in the last 100 years, and especially in the last 20, 30 years, and keeps speeding up. But when you go out, when you walk, actually you have this incredible opportunity to do two things in parallel. At the first time, sorry, stop. You'll have the opportunity to do two things at the same time. Well, first of all, you have the opportunity to slow down. It sounds quite obvious, but when you walk, you tend to match the rhythm of your pace with the rhythm of your thoughts. And this can be a bit challenging in the beginning because there's a lot of things going on in our brain. But there will be a moment while you're walking, because no one can walk fast forever, that your thoughts will slow down and will match with your pace. And this is an incredible moment because this will help you to enter the second thing that I was going to mention. So first is slow down. The second thing is this internal journey, because the moment you start slowing down, you can actually hear your thoughts and you can hear more clearly what you're thinking, what is important for you in that moment. And it sounds pretty obvious, but we rarely do that in our daily days.
I can relate with everything you said. I discovered walking not that long ago in my life, and as somebody who always thought of myself as a big city girl, once I started walking in nature, I have rediscovered the joy of not only walking, but that, as you said, matching the speed of your thoughts with the walk. And it is the most natural thing for a human if you think about it. And we know that birds are meant to fly and fish are meant to swim. But recently, it seems that humans are just made to sit in the office or sit at their desks, which is not true. I think humans were designed to walk. And once you get yourself out there and you start it, you realize how obvious these things are. So it's almost worth to remind ourselves that this is what we are supposed to be doing, if you like. You've already mentioned the slowing down and how important it is. So the program in April is called Slow Down, and it takes place in the south of France, in Provence. And I want to ask you, why do you think slowing down is so important in today's fast-paced world? Because you hear a lot about moving faster and being more efficient and making the most of your time. So slowing down sometimes sounds a little bit controversial. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, it's a great question, Tanya. I think that the main reason why we need to slow down is to create conditions for us to think properly. Because if we don't think properly, most likely we will do some not very good decisions in our life. And we need to do decisions in our life every day, many times per day. So the better, the more clarity we have in our lives, in our actions, most likely the better lives we'll have. So slowing down, I would say that it's kind of a precondition for quality a quality life. And I think I would just want to highlight the difference between stopping and slowing down, because quite often we also hear people saying that it's important to stop. I think it's really difficult to stop for many, many reasons, but it's definitely possible to slow down. It's less brusque, so you will have less, let's say, side effects and maybe pain while you're slowing down instead of stopping. It's more gentle. And I think it's more natural as well. And this is where probably walking, it's so important. As we were saying, it's a natural movement, and you actually do it as you will, while stopping sometimes or many times is not exactly as you will. Sometimes you stop not necessarily because you want, because you were forced to stop. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the metaphor of not stopping but slowing down, because sometimes it feels like the lives that we're living is a metaphor would be like we're always moving in a high-speed train. So if you just stop, you end up crashing into the wall and then you suffer the consequences. But if you slow it down and you get out of the train and you start walking, then there's a very different process behind it. So for sure, it's less traumatic, one might say. But on the other hand, also being aware of the technology that we're surrounded with and the fast pace of information that we have to process constantly and the busy schedules that we all have, I think slowing down is the most crucial skill to actually prevent ourselves from things like burnout. So if we have all of this information coming at us, we need some tools to be able to build resilience towards it. So learning how to slow down is a very important skill, because if you ask me, I think not many people even can do it. So I think going on a program and experiencing it is a practical skill that you can then take away and use in
Yes.
your daily life.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I mean, over the last 10 years, we've been hearing this over and over. People
Mm.
come on a program of walking mentorship. They will not only gain clarity, but actually they gain good habits that they can translate, they can transfer to their daily day and help them. I mean, we hear often people saying after 5, 6, 7 years after the program, saying that they are still using some of the things they train, some of the things they experience in their daily lives. And I would like to highlight one thing regarding this idea of stopping and slowing down, and it's related with decision making. And I'm thinking about that when we are leading groups, for instance, we need to make hundreds, sometimes thousands of decisions during 1 week. And these decisions go from, very simple things, such as should I turn left or right, especially when you are at the crossroads or intersection. And it's very interesting because I noticed that, and sometimes we can make mistakes. And usually it's much easier to make a mistake when you are either distracted or you're going too fast. But actually, when you slow down in a situation like that, you have so much more capacity for good decision making. And it's a very strong metaphor for our lives. When you are in a situation that you need to make decisions, important decisions, maybe you really want to learn how to slow down. And at that moment, it doesn't mean that you eliminate all the risk. It doesn't mean you're going to make all good decisions. But the probability that you will make good decisions increase exponentially. So I would say that everything we are talking here, and specifically this program Slow Down, it can have a direct impact in the quality of your life. It sounds pretty simple and straightforward, but it's not, because besides the fact that we know this, we rarely practice that in our life, unless, it's like a muscle, unless we go to the gym with our brains. And this is what we do with this walking mentorship, and specifically with this slowing down in Provence next spring.
Yeah, this is a very important observation, that I feel that we've been taught how to work hard and how to be efficient and how to do things, but we were not taught how to slow down and how to take time off and how to relax. And more individual clients that I see, they come to me with understanding that they want to slow down, but they don't know how. So coming to a program like this really brings you to experience how exactly you can do this. So that's definitely a point worth making. Well, now I want to tell a little bit of the background story about how I met you, how I met João. I discovered walking mentorship 4 years ago, and I came onto the program to walk the Camino de Santiago. And it had a huge impact on my life, and it was an unforgettable experience. I liked it so much that I came back a year later. And it took me twice to walk the Camino to actually approach João and say, this probably could be my dream job. How do I get involved? So this is where the new chapter began. And I went through the process of accreditation and became fully accredited. So it's a very exciting time for me now when I can do this together with João and not only join him in the Camino and walk as a co-mentor, but create and design my own programs. So it was in spring last year when we saw each other, and I made a promise. I said, I'm going back to France and I will find a location and I will find the roots, and I want to create something unique in a place where I now live. And I did exactly that. So the first program successfully happened this September, and this is our second edition. And unfortunately, João couldn't join me in September, but I'm very happy that you are coming in spring and to discover the landscapes of Provence and also to kind of experience that new, very new program, which is an unusual experience, I imagine, for you.
Well, it's very special, Tanya, because one of the main objectives that we are pursuing already for a few years, it's to bring um, this tool of self-development to more people in different regions. And I acknowledge that the first 4, 5, 6 years of walking mentorship, we were very limited in our capacity to be available to more people. So this is almost like a dream coming true. The fact that different people, different mentors like yourself, bring the uniqueness of your life experience, the knowledge of living in a place with so much beauty and so many special things. So bringing these, let's say, new layers, additional layers, new perspectives, I think it's really unfolding the purpose of the walking mentorship. I mean, we are doing that in other regions, so this is really something very, very special. From my side, specifically or personally, I'm very excited about it because I love to discover new things and actually being taken almost literally by the hand to discover new landscapes, new stories, new geographies, new cultures. I think it's something very, very special. I'm looking so much forward to this. And I have to make a little, share a little secret. About 17 years ago, I had a trip that took me on a long drive, and I had to pass by not only Marseille, but I had to drive really through all this region of Carenque and not so far from Aix-en-Provence. And it's so interesting because 17 years ago, I look at those mountains, that landscape, and I thought, I wish one day I could walk there. And sometimes you just need to wait 17 years, and then you come, full circle to your wishes. So this is something that for me it's very special because I really thought about this. It was just a little longer.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing this story. I didn't know that. Well, maybe we can give the listeners some idea about the program itself and what they can expect if they decide to come. So, what makes a slowdown program different from the other programs that Walking Mentorship does? I can start by saying that this is a shorter program because many of the immersive programs that Walking Mentorship does last a week. But this one lasts a long weekend. So the program starts on a Thursday and it finishes on a Sunday. So it's a little bit more convenient to fit into your busy schedule. And I would say that the second most striking difference is that Most walking mentorship programs assume that you're carrying your backpack from one place to another and you stay in different places while you're walking. But this one is slightly different. To give people the opportunity to really slow down and relax, I chose one place where we stay. So you don't need to carry a heavy backpack with you. You can just carry a bottle of water on your picnic. And every day we take a different route, but we come back to the same place. And for me, this really creates a special dynamic that there is a beauty of going out on a walk, but returning to the same place every night. And of course, by doing that, I managed to include all the other things that Provence has to offer, which of course are gastronomy and beautiful wines and local cuisine. So the evenings become a second part of the day that is quite different from the first part of the day. Yeah. So since I moved to Provence, I was really inspired by the way French can appreciate simple things and how can they really enjoy. So for them, having a meal is not just about food on the table. It's about the atmosphere, it's about the conversations, it's about enjoying, and it's about sustainability as well, because they're really aware of what they eat and where the produce comes from. I took a lot of inspiration from the place and I tried to incorporate all of these little elements in the program without disturbing the dynamics of the mentoring exercises and everything that walk-in mentorship already has to offer.
Well, that sounds amazing. Again, I'm counting the days. I think there is a beauty in finding balance in everything, and not only when you balance time to walk and time to think, time to, which by the way, for some people, it can be very difficult, time to do nothing. This can be very, very challenging. But then you start discovering new things in your life, new angles, new perspectives, enjoy the silence, enjoy maybe a very quiet conversation, or just, writing down your thoughts. And of course, if you can wrap it up with, some amazing other experiences that amplify the overall idea of where you are traveling in this case, because in the end of the day, you are still traveling. It becomes a deeply transformative experience. You leave a bit of yourself in the place you visit, and you take a little bit of the place you visit with yourself. And maybe, this is a wild guess, but I guess I'm not very wrong on this one. By doing that and by promoting these type of experiences, maybe we will end up having a much more peaceful world. Because when we sit on someone else's shoes, we understand that they are not so different from ours, and we reap all these incredible benefits. And I will add the fact that there are other people coming on this program from different countries, different geographies. It just adds even another additional layer on everything that you just mentioned. You gain different perspectives. You understand that we are not actually that different from each other, but we gain almost immediately this look into life, into challenges from other people. And then we just take and observe whatever we want. I mean, we are not forced on anything. So total freedom, total responsibility on this type of programs.
Mm-hmm. And you're now answering a very common question when people say, but it's a group program. So how can you do individual mentoring? And am I supposed to share everything with others? So that could be sometimes the thing that makes them think that they will be supposed to share their vulnerabilities with others. But adding to the point that you made before, every time that I came on a walking mentorship program, I was amazed how on the first day, it looks like it's a group of strangers meeting, and it's almost hard to tell what these people have in common because they come from different cultures, different ages, different backgrounds, and they walk through different times in their lives. But it always happens that these beautiful connections start to be created, and by the end of the program you understand that there's much more that we have in common than the differences. It just depends where you place your focus And that connection happens on a human level. So we're all humans and we all want to be loved and seen and heard. And so these programs really allow you to experience that connection, first of all, with yourself. Second of all, with something bigger than you, which is nature. And sometimes we forget that we are part of nature. But also for me, it's about these beautiful connections with others and how you can relate to this world. And for me, this is what the world needs right now when we live in the time of so much conflict and so much distraction and disagreement.
Yeah.
So that is a very important cornerstone of what we do. And I believe we both share this value as walking mentors.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Tanya. We have seen over and over absolutely beautiful, incredible situations where, in a world that it's so divided as it is, people come together and they share the essentials of their lives. And those essentials of their lives become so much more strong than any difference of opinions that by the end, we kind of go back home, understand the, let's say, the official narrative. The is a question we are asked quite often, or if some people prefer, what's in it for me? I mean, if I go on a program like this, I take the time, I make the investment, what's in it for me? Well, and I think the most important thing is clarity. This is what's in it for you. You have the space and the opportunity to gain clarity in your life. Once you gain clarity, you create conditions for decision making. And sometimes people are worried if they're going to make some move forward. And this can be from a professional side, a change of profession, logistics, change a city, change a country. But it can also be much deeper in terms of relationships, very hard talks that have been, waiting to happen. But sometimes it's very simple things, stop doing certain things that have a huge impact in your life, or start doing certain things that have a huge impact in your life. So when you go on a program like this, you create really the space in a very natural way that you approach a moment that it becomes so clear what you need to do, how, when, why, and then you transfer that into what we can call an action plan. And if you align that with your purpose, and there will be an opportunity for reflection about your purpose in life, things make more sense. Again, this is not a magic wand. So basically, you're not going to solve everything in one moment. But we know that when you start solving certain things that have been there already, sometimes for a while, the other things will follow. It's what we call a domino effect. So I think this is what you should really expect after joining a slowdown program. It's a positive domino effect, positive ripple effects in your life after the program. I don't know. What do you think, Tanya?
I love what you said, and there are two things that I want to add on. First of all, it's now becoming clear that as mentors on this program, we are not the ones telling people how to live their lives and what changes they need to make. As mentors on this program, as you said so rightly, we create the conditions for people to enter that space within themselves and to hear their thoughts and actually to find these answers within themselves. So by being in the right environment, these answers, they really come to the surface and they become very obvious. So what we do is we facilitate that experience for others. And that's a very important point. And the second point is that I feel like you've just created a slogan for the program. You said, slow down to move forward. So this is the controversy of the process, that sometimes in order to move forward, you don't need to accelerate, but instead you need to slow down and revise and see where it is that you want to go and get ready to make this step. So by slowing down, you actually facilitate that ongoing process. So thank you for sharing this reflection with me. I think it's straight to the point. And maybe to finalize, let's just give some information up front for people who are curious and want to experience this for themselves. So the program is going to happen in April, The dates are from the 10th until the 13th of April 2025. The location is Provence, as we've just mentioned. So the easiest way to get here is to fly into Marseille. And then the accommodation is about 1 hour drive from the airport or the train station. What else? All the information about the itinerary and the locations and the price can be found on the website. I will attach the link underneath this video, maybe in comments, so you can just click and go and book directly. And if you have any more questions about the program, feel free to book a call either with myself or João. We'll be happy to have a chat and really see if that's the right program for you in this time of your life. Like João likes to say, walking mentorship programs are for everybody at the right time in their lives.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to add anything to this, but I really enjoyed our conversation, and now it makes me look forward to April even more.
Well, thank you, Tanya, for this also opportunity that we can explain a little bit more in detail what to expect. Maybe one final remark. If deep inside you understand that it's really important to use this time to do something good for yourself, don't think too much. Just do it. Because we can always find great excuses not to do things. I mean, we humans are perfect on that. But this is more of a very honest question you need to do to yourself. I really need this moment now for myself. I'm going to do something really good for myself. And if that's the case, then we should walk together in April in Provence. And we look for.
Yeah, let's keep walking together.
Let's keep walking.